Hey guys, today we are going to be doing some Bible journaling, and it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to do it with things that we found outside. So the verse is John 3:16, and it reads, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him will not die, but they'll live forever." Forever. So I went around, and what I want you to do too is go around, whether it's in your backyard, whether it's at a park nearby, whether you just walk down the street on the sidewalk and just pick up little things that are of nature to do your Bible journaling. So if you are doing it in an actual Bible, and that's typically what you do, today you don't have to do it in your actual Bible. If it's something that you just want to keep it in your Bible journal because that's what you have, you can go through and think about actual pictures that you may want to draw. So let's go through that real quick in case there are some of you that don't want to use fun items from nature. And if you want to do it in your Bible journal just with paints or markers or pens, that is completely okay too. But I really would suggest you go outside and gather different items from nature, because it's just a whole new way to use your creativity by finding things that are around you in nature. So if you're doing a Bible journal, some things that come to, just go ahead and you can write "for God," and then draw pictures that come to mind when you think of God. So you can pause in between each of the things that I'm saying and write down your ideas, and then push play again when you're ready. But I'll go ahead and just go through and tell you what it is that you may think of when you're trying to think of ideas for what to draw. So God, you could draw a cross, a heart, a sun because he's warm, a cross because he died for you on the cross, a heart because he lives in you. For God so loved, I did a heart of many different hearts inside because he so loved. It wasn't just loved, he so loved the world. So I did some splashes and some lines coming out showing again the emphasis, the extreme importance of he so loved the world. So the world is the next word, and I drew a world and then some people, and I did red, yellow, black, and white. Then I did he gave. I just did a hand giving his one and only Son. So I drew a picture of his Son and a cross, that whoever believes. I did a heart with Jesus in the middle, and another heart because when you believe with all of you, your heart, your mind, your will, your emotions, your soul, every part of you believes. So this is symbolizing every bit of me believes. When you do, you will not die. You'll never die. So these are kind of combined. You won't die, but you'll live forever. And it talks about in the Bible that you will live with Jesus in an area where the streets are paved with gold. He's making a house for you even today. And I just drew a picture of a home and roads of gold. So these are some ideas, right? But I likely won't be drawing a whole lot of that, because instead I'm going to be using my artwork with nature. So I do think I will use some paints today just to add a little extra color pizzazz to my paint or to my paper, okay? You do not have to do this. You can if you want, and if you don't want to, that's wonderfully fine too. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of paint here and there, splashed around, and then I'm gonna get started. And I wanna go ahead and write on mine the verse from John 3:16. So in a second here, I'm going to grab my pen and I'm going to write my verse. So let's see here. For God so loved the world. For God so loved the world, He gave His one and only Son, that whoever believes in Him will not what? What won't happen? They will not die, but live forever. Okay, so I've got my verse. For God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son, that whoever believes in Him will not die, but have life forever. So I will add a link below with the Bible verse in it, and it always depends every time, every time, it depends on what type of Bible you're reading from, what it's going to look like with how it sounds, but it'll be perfect because you will be able to do whatever comes to your mind with the verse that I have posted below. So I gathered some dandelions. And for me, when I was gathering the dandelions, I was thinking that adding these dandelions to my Bible journaling sheet, these dandelions are going to symbolize the world. So, for God so loved the world. Okay, so I'm going to just add those on there, and I'm going to come back to them. So, for God so loved, He so loved. I found these super cool, not sure if you can see it, they are actual plants that are shaped like a heart. Isn't that neat? So I'm going to take my glue and just kind of spread these hearts out all over my Bible journal. So for God so loved, He's so loved, He's so loved. It's kind of like, in this case, it's, you know, when you're like, oh yeah, I kind of like that, or I like that verse. I love it! There's so much more oomph when it's like, so love it. I love it! I so love it! You just realize the emphasis, and you realize the enthusiasm behind the love. So Jesus our God so loved the world. So I've got my hearts kind of splattered all over. So for God so loved the world. I have my flowers here, and I'm going to make these flowers actually be people, okay? So I've pinched off the bottom of my dandelions, and on some of them they've broken when I've done that, which is fine. I collected multiple, so I just want to add one more. So for God so loved the world, I'm going to make these flowers into people. So for this first one, for God so loved the world. when I think about this verse, I truly, the heads are, the flower, the yellow part is going to be their heads, just heads up. So when I think about this verse, it's like when Jesus was on the cross, it is so, so important to know that he was thinking about you. So many years ago when this happened, he was thinking about you because he knew that you were going to be born. He knew that he was going to create you in your mom's stomach. It was like, even at that time that Jesus died on the cross, he saw you in his mind. And he said, I will die for you. For you. He wants to die. God sent his son Jesus to die. As much as Jesus wanted to die for you, he knew it was going to be hard and he knew it was going to be painful, but he wanted to do it because in the end, he knew it was the only way that you could be saved. And that's when he finally decided, okay, this is the best. But it wasn't something he was excited about, but he had you in mind as he was on the cross. He just loves you so much. So I've got my people. All drawn out here. Okay? So for God so loved the world. And then last but not least, I think I'm just going to do this one. For God so loved the world. Then I'm just going to draw, not draw. So I'm going to take my grass. He so loved the world. He loved the world. He loved the world. He loved the world. I'm actually, instead of that, I'm going to draw a circle, like in the shape of the world. And I'm going to take these, I'm not sure, this leaf, and just kind of put it around like it's a world, okay? God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son, that whoever believes in him will not die but will live forever. So I hope, as we're doing this Bible journaling together, I want all of us to remember together that Jesus created you with a purpose. He created you with a design and with just truly a plan for you. And God really, really wants you to know how important you are to him. And this was a way for him to show you, I loved you so much, I gave my son to die for you to live. So I have my world, and I'm going to draw. I think this might only work with a permanent marker, so just want to give you that heads up. So I drew the world, and I'm just going to trace around it, and it might actually have looked better if I had traced around it with green, just for it to be the same. So I've got the world. So for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son. He gave his one and only son. So he gave his one and only son. We see on our sheet of paper here where we wrote out some of our ideas. I think I'm going to combine that he gave his one and only son. He gave him on the cross. So I'm going to take some of these long grass pieces that I found nearby and make it into a cross, because God gave his son Jesus on the cross to die for my sins. So I'm going to take that, put it down. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son, that whoever believes in him. So believes. I'm going to grab these. I'm not sure what they are. They're little, you can see the little vine or the stem at the bottom. I'm going to pull off 2 of them, and I'm going to make these into hands so that whoever believes in him, I'm going to add that up here, and I'm going to make these into hands. So I believe, it's like, I believe, raising my hands up and just saying, I believe. And even in the midst of every hard time, I believe that Jesus is the one and the only. He is the one that died for my sins. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to use the stem of a dandelion, and I'm going to put that down because this is symbolizing that whoever believes. I'm just really making another person. And then I found an old brown leaf, and I'm going to use this as the head for believe, whoever believes. And I'm going to draw some eyes on here. Whoever believes will not die, but live forever. So with this last part, whoever believes in him will not die, but live forever. As we did on here, we kind of combined the 2, will not die, but live forever. We combine that together. So lastly, on my Nature Bible journaling, I'm going to take the will not die, but live forever, and I'm going to take my greenery that I found and rip it up into a house. I'm going to make this into a house and be creative with the greenery to build a house. Because when we give our lives to Jesus, that means we obey his commands. It means we follow through with what he asks us to do. It means that we're loving our neighbors as ourselves. It means we are putting God first rather than ourselves. And we want to know more of Jesus rather than it always being about us. So these are all ways of knowing, like, I really love Jesus because in the end, all I want is him, and all I want to do is please him. So when we do that, it's saying that we live forever. We live forever. When we come to believe in Jesus, we actually live forever. And it talks about how when we die, I spoke about this earlier, Jesus is preparing a place for you right now. He's created a place for you, a home for you. He's storing up beautiful things for you out of his love for you, and you're going to live forever. Beautiful, when I say things, let me clarify. He is creating a place for you to live forever in heaven, where the streets are gold, where you will be worshiping Jesus. So it's not going to be about things like on earth, but the one thing is Jesus. The one thing is God. Worshiping him, singing, dancing, painting, whatever it is, to give him glory, to give him worship, to give him praise. That's what you're going to be doing forever and ever and ever. So whatever comes to your mind with heaven and living forever and what brings you life, you can draw that and have that be a part of your picture. So this is it, you guys, and I am about ready to wrap up. I would love to see your finished Bible journaling. So if you'd like, you can email me. You can send me a Facebook message, a text message. I would love to see what you end up doing. So, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him will not die but live forever. Thanks, guys. Until next time.